This is Coach Brian with Cause Events and Coach Brian's Corner. So, today we're going to be discussing which part of the Ironman race really decides the race. Now, this is an article I've condensed out of Triathlete Magazine because I thought it was a really good opportunity to share with you this information, and we can stop arguing about it because everybody does argue about it. So let's get started. As triathletes, we spend a lot of time obsessing over one question. What matters most? Is it the swim? Is it the bike? Or is it the run? If you ask 10 athletes, you'll probably get 10 different answers. The swimmers will tell you the race starts in the water. The cyclists will remind you the bike is over half the race. And the runners, they'll just smile and say, yeah, but everyone slows down eventually. And honestly, they may have a point. A recent statistical analysis looked at over 20 years of professional Ironman racing, more than 1,000 races, and roughly 18,000 pro finishes to figure out exactly how much each discipline influences the final race results. And the findings are fascinating. First, let's look at the time spent in each discipline. On average, the swim accounts for about 10% of the total race time. The bike dominates the clock at 53%. The run makes up about 36%. And transitions barely 1%. If you judged importance purely by time, you'd think the bike decides everything. But that's not how racing works. What really matters is not how long an athlete spends doing something, it's how much that segment influences the final finishing order. And when researchers looked at that, the picture changed dramatically. The run was the most decisive discipline, accounting for 41% of race influence. The bike came in second at 37%, the swim accounted for 14%, and surprisingly, transitions mattered 7.5%, way more than you'd expect for something that just takes a few minutes. That's right, transitions, the thing many age groupers treat like an afterthought, matter statistically far more than their tiny timeshare suggests. That should make every athlete rethink about how casually they approach T1 and T2. Now, the phrase we've all heard, bike for show, run for dough. And historically, the data says that's absolutely true. But here's where it gets interesting. The bike is catching up. Back in 2005, the run had nearly a 10-point advantage over the bike in determining race outcomes. By 2025, the bike had actually edged ahead slightly. Why? Probably a few reasons. Today's pros are far more aerodynamic. They spend serious time in wind tunnels and optimizing equipment. Nutrition has improved dramatically, meaning athletes are better able to preserve run performance. And athletes are getting smarter about pacing, knowing exactly how hard they can push before paying for it later. So, while running has historically ruled Ironman, cycling is becoming more decisive every year. Now let's talk about course-specific differences, because not every Ironman rewards the same strengths. Take Kona. Kona is brutal. The heat, the wind, the energy lab. It's designed to expose weakness late in the day. And the numbers show the run accounts for nearly 40% of the race outcome there. That's huge. If your marathon falls apart in Kona, your race is over. Now compare that to Nice, the recent World Championship venue. Nice flips the script. Its mountainous, technical bike course pushes bike importance to 47%, making cycling the dominant discipline. That's a completely different race dynamic. Same distance, totally different demands. This tells us something critical. Course selection matters. A strong cyclist might thrive at Nice, Switzerland, or Wales. A powerful runner may have better success in a flatter, hotter races like Texas or Barcelona. And the best athletes, the best coaches, don't just train harder, they train specifically for the demands of the course. Now let's talk about the swim. Across most Ironman races, the swim is the least decisive leg, but that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. On course with downstream current like Chattanooga or Cozumel, the swim importance drops because the field gets compressed. Everyone exits closer together. But on technical open water swims with chop, turns, and challenging conditions, swim importance rises significantly because the gaps form early and often stay intact. So if you're a strong swimmer, race choice can amplify that advantage. And then there's the race format. The full Ironman distance run by are now nearly equal, but in a 70.3 racing, the bike becomes more important, and T100 racing, the bike dominance grows even more. Why? Because shorter races allow athletes to push harder. There's less need to conserve energy for late marathon shuffle. And the larger draft zones in T100 make strong cyclists even more dangerous. In simple terms, the shorter the race, the more the bike matters. The longer the race, the more the run can punish mistakes. So what does that all mean for us athletes? It means triathlon isn't about finding one superpower, it's about balance. You can't fake your way through 140.6 miles. A great swim won't save a weak bike. A monster bike won't rescue a collapsed marathon. And the best run in the field can't always erase poor positioning earlier in the day. Success comes from understanding your strengths, choosing courses that reward them, and building a race plan that matches the demands of the event. And that's where smart coaching lives. The data doesn't make the decision for you, but it gives you clarity. In a sport as complex as triathlon, clarity is a competitive advantage. So next time someone asks, what's the most important part of Ironman? The answer is simple. It depends on the course, the conditions, the format, and the athlete. And that's what makes this sport so fascinating. And that's why we keep coming back. All right. What did you think about this article? Did it help you? Did it change your thinking about how to train? Leave a comment, subscribe, like, and we'll see you here next time.